maybe a way you could tell a story to where the Bulls get involved in a major deal is if Damian Lillard doesn't go to Miami, and at this point they are hell-bent on making a deal, and they go for Zach LaVine, because that's one of the infrastructures where there's enough defense probably around to where letting Zach LaVine do what he wants to do, which he's a really good scorer, a good creator. Like, I think he's actually maybe undervalued a little bit in the market overall. I understand his contract is what it is, but everything that's been said and things that have been done by that front office say that they're just going to run it back. And what's frustrating is the Torrey Craig move in a vacuum. I like it for them a lot. They need that type of guy, because really their only big forward is Patrick Williams at this point. They've been playing small at center, but the Bulls and Toronto are two teams that just feel like they're going to try and take the Wizards' crown of, we are so happy to just be in the play-in and maybe sneak into the 8 seed and become cannon fodder for whoever the 1 seed is. Like, looking at some of the other moves that have been made, especially by teams like Indiana. Last year, I made money with the Bulls to not make the playoffs. Might be on that again. I don't even know that I'm going to get as good of odds, but like, I think at this moment, the Indiana Pacers will finish with a better record than the Chicago Bulls, assuming the teams stay fairly static for what they are at the moment. I just think the Bulls bet on high floor, and the floor isn't even quite as high as they were hoping. And obviously the Lonzo Ball thing is part of it, but when your third or probably fourth best player matters that much from you being a top 4 seed down to scraping the play-in, there's bigger issues to be had if you're banking on perfect health, especially from a guy that clearly New Orleans knew. A lot of people are like, why does New Orleans not really want to re-sign Lonzo Ball? Clearly medicals had to be a big part of it. And then the Bulls paid him, and it was good for 45 games, and it totally sucks for Lonzo that he's not going to play this entire year, as the Bulls front office said, and they applied for that disabled player exception. But I'm not very high on the Bulls at this point. They're old, they're capped out, they're short on picks, so I don't know how they make a move to truly get better.
When I look at Milwaukee, we posed this yesterday, with the Bucks. To me, this feels very much like one last shot for them to convince Giannis that they can win another title. And if not, I would be concerned that we see a situation like we saw with Dallas, with Milwaukee, to where, you have a star there who's, a little frustrated with the, outlook of the team and the ability to build around it. And it causes the organization to make, a little bit of a reach. We saw Dallas reach out and get Kyrie, and now they're kind of married to him. And the way that their season ended was not pretty, by anyone's standards. So, people have a lot of questions on whether that marriage is going to work. And I think you could see a similar thing with Milwaukee if they have another disappointing postseason to where Giannis says, hey, you know what, maybe I gave Milwaukee my championship. Maybe I need to go to, another organization in a bigger market that has a better chance of winning, whether that could be like a team like the Knicks at that point, if the Knicks keep building, or, another team in a major market that could be looking to take on a star like that. So I'm concerned about Milwaukee. I think that, Miami's really kind of primed to make a move here if they're able to get Lillard. If not, obviously everything changes, but the odds have shifted to the point to where, the expectation is he's going to be in Miami. The books are trying to get in front of that move there. Where do you see Harden landing? What teams do you think would really be able to take him on that would have something, to give back for the Sixers? And does this pending deal make the Sixers more valuable now in the odds market?
It seems like it is the Clippers. I mean, I think the sticking point that would get the deal done is Terrence Mann. Just Terrence Mann is good. He's a good player. Yeah. It's essentially saying, can the Sixers with a better supporting cast around having it be Maxey and Embiid, can that end up being, enough? I don't know. I would maybe value, depending on if you think Evan Mobley can take an offensive leap, could Cleveland end up having a better record post Harden trade if it ends up being nothing unforeseen in terms of what type of return the Sixers get? I could see Cleveland now with a full year under their belt of this group say, being better, understanding themselves, improving, even if they had to overpay on the wing with Strus and Niang to just give them someone defenses have to respect, to try and give Garland and Mitchell better driving lanes. And then if Mobley can improve at all offensively with how good him and Allen are defensively, like Cleveland could be really good, even though the Knicks just dispatched of them right quick in the playoffs. I don't know how, because that's the thing is the Knicks were a bad matchup for the Cavs, but who has more upside right now? It's the Cavs, and it's not even close with their current rosters that they have. So if you told me Dame goes to Miami, the top 3 seeds are in some order, Miami, Boston, and Milwaukee, and then it was like Cleveland, Philly, New York, and that's like your non-play-in teams right there, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
I like the Mets here on the first 5. You look at the pitching matchup, and I think that this is where you mentioned the Mets, how much they struggled over the last month or so and how well the Diamondbacks have played. This line is just inflated toward the D-backs, and the Mets should be heavier favorites than just minus 120, 130 over the first 5 innings here. Look at the pitching matchups. We'll start with Zach Davies. He limits barrels, but that's it. His strikeout rate is 17%. His walks are in the double digits. He doesn't generate swings and misses out of the zone, so he has to rely on soft contact. And it's just not a great recipe for success here. You look at his expected batting average. Opponents are hitting at 272 expected against him. He's not able to really strand that many runners on base because he is not able to get strikeouts. So then he puts the ball in play. And what do the Mets do? Their offense does not strike out. They put the ball in play. And we made a joke last year that they would BABIP teams to death because they just would get hits with balls in play. And I think that this is a great opportunity for that to happen again here. The Mets offense isn't the issue, right? The issue all season long has been their bullpen. They have, over the last 14 days, they have a better WRC plus and isolated power than Arizona. And I just think that the matchup favors them here. Senga, if he keeps his walks in check, then he's going to be amazing. He's got a 222 expected batting average, a 354 expected slug rate, and a near 30% strikeout rate. And that forkball, a .095 expected batting average, and a 60% whiff rate. So, you look at this matchup, Senga is a significantly better pitcher than Davies. The offenses are about a wash, if not favorable, toward the Mets over the last few weeks. And we're getting rid of the bullpens. We're not letting the Mets blow this one. We're going to stick to the first 5. I'd back the Mets first 5 money line up to about minus 130, 135.